Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Squared Sliced. I'm your friendly neighborhood soda, 420 today, joined by Dustyn, who kind of remembers Nathan Jones' Dubuque. How are you doing?
A little bit. Oh,
Yeah,
good. How are you doing? I like your sunlight. I do not have any here, so I'm a little jealous of
yeah,
the nice day that looks like you have.
yeah. Well, yesterday it poured rain all day, but today
It,
it was
did-
nice and sunny.
it's rained 3 days straight here nonstop. And that's why I'm also enjoying your sunlight. I'm just living vicariously through you. I'm just assuming it's coming through one screen and into mine.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, wait till it hits summer. That's gonna be bright. It'll be light out here till probably like 11 o'clock at night.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, how long how long is your is that over there? Over there. Jesus.
what
Up
do you mean?
there. Like how long is your sunlight then? When it
Oh,
gets cuz I forget how north you are.
Usually, fuck, when I wake up during the summer around 6:30, the sun's already out.
Okay. And then
Yeah,
it's up till 11, huh?
yeah, it's 10:30, 11 around there. Yeah, depending on the day.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I bought blackout curtains for my bedroom.
I was just going to say, do you have the
Nope.
blackout curtains
Yeah, definitely.
just to get you through it?
Well,
Interesting.
yeah, because the summer, the sun's coming directly into my apartment. So,
Right.
yeah.
So how many months does that? Is that just the summer months right there pretty much?
Actually, it's only like the back half of summer, so I'd say
Oh, okay.
probably like late July through August.
Interesting.
So, which is when it gets also apparently really hot here. So that means I spend most of my time in my room in front of my air conditioner.
I understand.
That's what I
I
did last
understand.
year. I just hooked up my laptop to my TV in there, which is what caused me to find out it was a computer monitor, not a TV. Well, you hook it up, and normally when you do that, the thing image automatically appears on the screen, right?
Sure.
But I'm sitting there, I'm like, I can see the video playing on my laptop, but there's nothing on my TV. What the hell? And I look closely, and it's like I didn't see. Son of a bitch, it's a monitor. I was like, okay then. Yeah, it's like a
That's funny.
32-inch computer monitor hooked up
Well,
to
hey, well, why not? A
yeah.
32-inch computer monitor.
Yeah, well,
What the?
it's a Roku TV, is what it is.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but we're not here to talk about my entertainment style. No, we're here to. We're actually having a 2-for-1 today. So kind of why my name is like that. We are doing an Stone Cold Steve Austin evening. It turned out we're going to be discussing a little bit about the movie The Condemned, which I will admit I forgot to watch. So I will be interviewing Dustyn for it because okay, and then afterwards we're gonna review arguably what is probably my favorite Austin match, if I'm being honest.
Ooh.
That one, or Austin Rock from the next month. Like those are the two for me.
Okay.
And that
Interesting.
is from No Way Out 2001, the very first 3 stages of hell match in WWE history. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Triple H. This was a blood feud. It really was at that time.
It was.
Yeah, but
I'm
we'll
excited
get
to
into
talk
that.
about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. But we'll get into that afterwards. So let's get into The Condemned a little bit. So this movie is from Stone Cold Steve Austin, of course. Came out in 2007, directed by Scott Weiper. Budget of $20 million, box office of only 8.6.
Yep.
So basically, again, I forgot to watch it, which means I've actually never seen the movie. I just know it's basically kind of like the Running Man in a way, where you bring in ex-cons and then you on pay-per-view TV you air kind of like a battle royal, and the last man standing wins. So it sounds like the Hunger Games meets the Running Man, really.
Pretty much exactly what it is. Running Man's a great comparison movie to it. Upon rewatch, so the thing about it is it's. I remember like really getting into WWE studios. I don't know if you were Soda when they first announced that in like 2006 ish. You know, that was 2005, 2006 because
Yeah,
Condemned was in the first 3 or 4 movies they
it was.
released.
I'm trying to remember which ones out of those I saw. Like I definitely saw
Because
See No Evil.
See No Evil was the first one, if I'm
Yeah,
correct,
I believe
and then
so.
it
Yeah.
was and then Marine I think followed,
Oh
if I'm
seven. Yeah,
correct.
because See No Evil, if I'm not mistaken, the promotional campaign was around the time of WrestleMania 22, which was in 2006.
Yeah, it was two. I definitely and See No Evil was 2006 too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do know that. Yeah, and so it was like this little batch, and it was funny because they jammed all the like big stars in the movies.
Oh,
Kane,
for sure.
Cena, Austin, which changed very quick.
Yeah,
But I think and the Condemned is pretty much the reason that WWE didn't do another rated R movie for a long time in
I
WWE studios. That was a big deal because
yeah. Definitely rated R doesn't seem like it's in their wheelhouse, especially as they went on because they were going into the PG era.
exactly. It's so not. And like, yeah, they did See No Evil too, but like Kane playing a serial killer slasher is not that odd of
Yeah.
a choice. Where if you don't like rewatching Condemned today, I was actually again, I don't know if I just picture the PG era, 2007. We're getting there. Like the Condemned is a very like brutal movie,
Mhm.
and really, 15 years later holds up poorly.
Yeah, and I'm actually on Wikipedia here because I wanted to see what the list of all those movies are. So yeah, it is the third one. It is the third one, but also
Okay.
funny enough, the last one to be released as WWE films. After that, they
Oh,
went to WWE Studios with 12
studios.
rounds. But yeah, the first three were See No Evil with Kane, The Marine with John Cena, which I remember being good. I haven't seen it in 15 years. And
It's
then the
fun,
Condemned.
stupid, fun,
Yeah.
stupid. But the thing is they. I remember when it came out. I remember See No Evil just got lambasted by the
Mhm.
critics.
Oh,
People
fuck.
were like, "This
Who
is."
cares? This Kane is a slasher villain. Who
That's what I
cares?
was like. I'm like, it's a slasher. And Marine people thought was dumb because it is dumb, but it's
Yeah.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
And Cena was also not this John Cena in it either. Like
No, no. Well, yeah, this was
nobody knew
six.
who he was.
This was before Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect. This was still Chain Gang.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So nobody really cared who John Cena was, and not
exactly.
outside the wrestling world.
Yeah.
And then you have Condemned, and I remember like when it came out, I don't think I saw it in the theater,
Okay.
but I do remember watching it in my dorm room, which meant that was like that year or the year after. And I remember people like thinking it's good, and I remember people watching it. And I remember it being like this movie that just randomly got put on, college. Yeah, you're bored and you're chilling and you're drinking and you're throwing movies on, and Condemned always kind of was one of them.
Yeah.
And it maybe could have been because of me, to be honest with you. Probably was.
Okay.
But I hadn't watched it since. And
Okay.
rewatching it today, I mean, it's horrible. And it's and it's funny too. So I know you brought up like, oh, like they stream it on pay-per-view. The funny part about it is that dates this movie so well is it's really hardcore on the internet. Like the main rich guy who brings these 10 cons onto an island.
Yeah.
He's like, we're gonna take over the internet with this. And they're really die hard on this being really important on the internet. And
Who
that's how
plays
they're
the
gonna get.
guy? It's not Vinnie Jones, is it?
No, Vinnie Jones is the meaner con. I didn't know the guy who was the rich bad guy.
What was his character? What was the character name? Do you remember? It's not Paco, is it?
No, that seems like he's one of
That's
the.
Matthew Bennett, who's awesome as Deathstroke in the
Yes,
Arrowverse.
Deathstroke. Yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't because
No, that's fair.
but it's just funny that they're so hardcore on this internet thing. And then I also forgot how little Austin's in this movie.
Really?
He has very few lines. And Vinnie Jones is in it way more than Austin is. Because Vinnie Jones is also a real actor.
For sure.
Let's be honest here. Vinnie Jones is a very well-rounded, like pretty out there guy.
Yeah.
But Austin doesn't show up. I mean, he has a couple quick scenes where he grunts, and then he gets on the island and has a couple more scenes, and then you realize he disappears for a long time, and all this shit happens. But the thing about it is it's really weird to look back on again, just the way WWE has shifted,
Mhm.
right, to a different product.
Well, yeah, and you looking at the list here, you could definitely see that. So after the Condemns, you had, for some reason, Behind Enemy Lines, Columbia, the sequel to Behind Enemy Lines.
Oh, that's Mr. Kennedy.
Kennedy, yeah, and then you had 12 Rounds, which also starred John Cena, but also Robert Patrick, who plays his dad in Peacemaker.
Oh God,
Yeah.
I haven't seen 12 Rounds in so long.
Yeah, this was a random fact I read about when I was looking at
Interesting.
stuff. And then after that, you had the Marine 2. And then you went to Legendary, which I hear is a decent film with John Cena. It's a drama about amateur wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I never watched that one.
And then that's when you start getting into comedy. You've got Knucklehead with The Big Show, The Chaperone with Triple H.
Oh, God.
That's what I had. Randy Orton, Inside Out with Triple H, The Reunion, Bending the Rules, which I think I might actually still own. I know I did own it at one point. And then, yes, we start getting into the more comedy stuff because by 2013, you got Scooby-Doo, WrestleMania Mystery, and Christmas Bounty.
And that Scooby-Doo one was like a straight-to-DVD thing, and that I remember it selling a crap ton of copies.
Yeah, and you still see it every once in a while as part of the set.
It does show up.
But there is one here that sticks out to me like a sore thumb, and that's the movie Oculus.
Yeah, they did Oculus. Yep.
That's random. Well, I remember it being a good movie, but that's random.
Isn't the other one on your list The Call?
The Call, yeah, the Call's
with
on there as well.
Halle Berry is the
Well,
lead
that
in
had
that.
David Otunga in it, so that has that connection.
He's in that movie for nothing, by the way. That's just the random wrestler in it.
Like his
But
WWE.
I saw that movie in the theater, and that actually is a not bad movie. It
No,
really
well,
isn't.
small town guy here, so none of these have ever come to my theater.
Of course not.
Yeah,
Well, why would they? I'm surprised the call came to mine. I remember seeing it in
yeah.
my theater. But yeah, it was just a weird thing.
I forgot they did with Hornswoggle the
Leprechaun?
horrible Leprechaun Origins movie. I remember
Never
that was in development for a long time.
I never watched it either.
They even did Jingle All the Way too.
Did they really?
Yeah, so apparently Santino Marella is in it.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got this one. I did see the Flintstones and WWE Stone Age Steak SmackDown, which I think I actually have in a set here.
Of course.
Yeah.
What's the latest one?
The latest one is Rumble from last year. Supposedly came out on December 15th.
Oh yeah, Rumble, yeah. That's
Okay,
the animated one.
action. Buddy Games. Buddy Games is the last one with Sheamus. Never heard of it.
Don't know what that is.
Josh Duhamel, Dax Shepard,
Oh.
Olivia Munn, Kevin Dillon, Nick Swartzen. So in other
Oh,
words,
Nick Swartzen's in it?
yeah, he's a character.
I love Nick Swartzen.
Favorite Nick
He's the
Swartzen.
best. Grandma's Boy.
Grandma's Boy, but it like honorable mentions got to go to Grown Ups too. He's like my favorite part of that movie. One of my favorite
Yeah, God, I love him. I'm seeing him. He's from Minnesota, the state next to me. So I'm seeing his stand-up comedy in a couple months.
Right
He's
on.
hilarious. I know.
He's an interesting cat. That is for sure.
Oh, he is. He is.
Yeah.
But he's a Minnesota.
I never saw the porn one he did there.
The which one?
There was one he did where he became a porn star.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I could never remember the name of it, but I know exactly.
I heard it's horrible, so I'm like, I'll just stay away from that.
Oh my God! But his Grandma's Boy role is the shit.
First time I ever saw him was in Grandma's Boy, and I rewatched that last year sometime, and the movie still holds up.
With Kevin Nash in it.
With Kevin Nash, that's right. That's right. Oh, and you know, I want to say this. Like, speaking of Kevin Nash, and we are talking about Austin. A lot of people give the Longest Yard remake a crap. I love.
Well, I don't know why. It's fun.
It's so much fun, especially when you got Kevin Nash taking testosterone and complaining about sore nipples.
I know. We'll cover that one.
That's a
Definitely
definite must on the list because I do love that movie.
That's on the list.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what else there is to really say about Kadib. I was like expecting this thing, and I was like, oh, this will be cool to see. And the other thing about it is it's pretty brutal. Like that's kind of the overarching point of the movie is like, why are you going to stream people killing each other and like get enjoyment out of it? It was the other funny thing was he mentions the main guy's like, we're going to get as many viewers as the Super Bowl, and the guy's like, how many viewers is that? And he's like 40 million. The Super Bowl now gets like 150 million people. And I was like 40 million people. It's just crazy to think 15 years ago to get 40 million people to watch something was like fucking crazy.
And yeah, now
and now Netflix has 83 million subscribers or some shit. So it's I don't know.
Yeah,
it's cool. But again, where to go to my name, Nathan Jones being in it's super interesting because he's also in it, I'm pretty sure, for 3 scenes. Austin kills him very early in the movie.
Okay.
But yeah,
and that's pretty much what he does now. Is he's primarily working and acting as like the big, heavier stunt guy.
Yeah, you'll see him around. What are your you? I know we set off Mike. You're now. I just want to talk Nathan Jones for a second because we'll never talk about him again.
Yeah, unless we ever review WrestleMania 19 or something like that.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only memory I literally have of Nathan
Jones.
That.
And I do remember a tag team he did after that with, I want to say, Matt Morgan.
It's Matt Morgan, yep.
Yeah, that's the only thing I remember from that. Other than that, it's the, like I was telling you earlier, the World Wrestling All-Stars.
Yeah.
That's where I first saw him. So that's where I first heard of the Boggle Road and stuff like that. So I remember when those vignettes aired in WWE, I was like, I know who this is. Ah! And then like a couple months later, it's like, ugh.
You know, and the thing about it is I remember. Again, the only memories I really have, I have them with Matt Morgan. Couldn't tell you a thing about it, but I just knew he was a tag team. And then that WrestleMania thing. But I remember when I was watching Mania, I was sad that he wasn't in the match.
Well, yeah, you know why they took him out of the match? It's because he shit. They realized he couldn't do it.
Yeah, they didn't even want him around. Yeah. He was hurt, and they were like, that gives us all the reason to not throw you in this. You can make your cameo appearance so you can get your WrestleMania payoff that we promised you and go away.
the only thing about that match that's even worth talking about is the Limp Bizkit intro and Tony Chibble saying it's WWE's favorite band. I think it was the last time he used Roland, because by that point he was using his WWE's Jim Johnston composition.
Yes, that would sound right. Yeah, because he was
So so another sidetrack. Which of the American Badass songs do you like? Is it American Badass? Is it Roland? Or is
I was really into Roland when it was on.
It's the one.
Something about it just felt good. And I can't believe Limp Bizkit sounded cool ever. But
a good couple years.
They did. Oh yeah, I was in middle school and Limp Bizkit was awesome. I loved him for a while. But I thought Roland was just perfect. And it's such a hyper song, and having Taker come down to it. And it was so like, I wasn't the biggest fan of the American Badass entrance.
I have fond memories of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't know. To be honest with you, I always look back and I'm not saying I didn't think the American Badass stuff was cool, but I literally almost gloss over all of that now.
Oh, really?
In my memory, yeah.
It was just nice to see something different. We got so much of the Dead Man before and after. It's just nice to see this little aftermath and see what came out of it. Like, I mean, we got some great stuff out of it, like the Jeff Hardy ladder match and all that jazz. But Limp Bizkit, man, like that album, Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water, like that's a good album, and WWE got some great material out of it. Like, still my favorite wrestling package of all time is My Way for the WrestleMania.
I was in, again, when I was young, I thought that My Way song was awesome.
Yeah. It's the only reason I have that song on my phone is because of that.
Yeah, I miss that about, I get it, times change. I understand all that. But God, I loved them handful of years where it was all those rock songs.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that. And I was it also is the thing of the times where nu metal was huge. When they're playing, I mean, my God, Marilyn Manson was the SmackDown theme for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking, again, to stick with the Condemned thesis. Isn't that crazy to think that Marilyn Manson had the theme song for SmackDown for multiple years?
Yeah, probably never going to happen again. Yeah, even though recently they did have AC/DC's "Are You Ready" for Raw, which was like interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting because they're so into like the pop.
Which I agree with you. I get, because it is the times. Personally, I usually skip those performances when they pay-per-view because it's not for me. And also, those guys can't perform live. I'm sorry.
Right. Like, they're just getting the buzz on social media. That's all they care about.
Which is of course, I 100% get it. But if I'm going to see a live act, I want to see somebody who can actually play live.
Right. I always wonder that. Oh, God, and I used to love the live performance stuff. Like, I miss that.
For the most part, Motorhead was a little, usually looked like they were phoning it in, but.
Well, oh my God, Lemmy was how old at that point?
Yeah, probably about two bottles of whiskey deep before he'd hop on stage.
Totally. Yeah, that's God. Yeah, I do miss all that. That was fun. That was a fun part of them few years of WWE. Now I get Bad Bunny, which I don't know anything about him, but apparently he's really famous.
Respect the guy now. I like the guy now. I really do.
Yeah, he seems like a good dude.
For sure. And like Randy Orton himself said, like, he earned the respect of the boys because he put in the time and effort to learn how to wrestle.
Exactly.
Which most don't really do.
Well, exactly. And I always love it whenever they announce, like, they just announced for Mania some performance, and I looked.
Oh yeah, DJ.
Yeah, DJ something. And I looked him up.
DJ something Khan. His last name is Khan. WrestleMania 38, right? Yeah, it's DJ Valentino Khan. Who?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm trying to look it up.
I'm never freaking calling it a premium live event. He played at SummerSlam last year, actually.
I know. I'm trying to get myself into the premium live event. It does make sense. But wrestling fans don't like change.
Yeah, but it just sounds like a porn, man.
It kind of does. It does. Yeah, it a little does. I never thought of it like that. Yeah, but I understand changing the name from pay-per-view because pay-per-views don't exist for them anymore. So, I mean, really.
They still are available. You can still rent them on pay-per-view.
Right, but more people are not More people are spending $5 on Peacock.
Well, yeah, that's the reason why main reason why I have the network. Besides, the back catalog. Like, if I'm gonna watch the pay-per-views, I'm just gonna do it $12 a month.
Yeah, I remember when the WWE Network was first announced, and when they announced that you got every pay-per-view involved in the subscription, I'm like, I don't give a shit about the rest. I'm like, yeah, the rest is awesome, but I don't care. I'm like, I'm gonna get every pay-per-view for freaking $11 a month.
Yeah, because otherwise you're looking at $600 a year just for pay-per-views.
Yeah. Is that crazy? Again, times changing in the wrestling world.
And like, think WrestleMania. Like, I'm thinking about now that it's in 2 days. You probably have to pay for both nights now.
You probably would.
Thank God for the network.
Totally.
Yeah, but speaking of the network, man, let's hop into this match because there's more to pick apart in this match.
Yeah.
So this was basically the culmination of a pretty big rivalry because this officially, unofficially goes back to Survivor Series 1999.
Yep.
Right, because that's when Austin got run over by the car and he was out so he could go get surgery on his neck. And of course, originally they had revealed that it was Rikishi behind the wheel because he did it for The Rock. Of course, that fell flat-faced, so they went with what they should have done to begin with.
Yeah.
And revealed it was Triple H that put him up to it, which led to their match at Survivor Series 2000. And then they were part of the 6-man Hell in the Cell in Armageddon, which is a hard match to find. I've tried to find it to put on my list. I cannot find it.
Interesting.
It's really weird.
And it's one of the matches that it's not really that good.
But it's fun as hell. Because when's the last time you can remember those 6 guys in a ring?
That's why.
And Rikishi.
You're getting random Rikishi, and he gets the great bump.
Well, that's because somebody had to take the bump.
Hey, and if you're going to be... And guess what? His bump is remembered forever.
Yeah.
The rest of that match is not.
I remember more... Yeah, it's mostly just a fun match to watch for schmoz. Really, I remember The Rock. The only thing I really remember is The Rock's promo from before where he made fun of all the contestants.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Well, you're going to have to look it up because he does a promo on Monday Night Raw with Jonathan Coachman, and he's hyping the match, but then he's like talking about all his competitors. And when he says like Kurt Angle, he does his impression of Kurt Angle. He does one for Austin, and he does one for Taker.
Okay. I'll have to look that up. Oh, is that where that came from?
Yeah,
I remember that. Okay, okay.
And then the feud continued going into Royal Rumble 2001, which they were both in the Rumble, and if I'm not mistaken, possibly the final 2.
They were.
I know Austin won.
Yep.
And then, of course, it culminated in No Way Out. And the lead up into this match, because like I said, it was a blood feud, they had a stipulation. There was a contract signing that took place. You know what the stipulation is?
They couldn't touch each other.
Right. If Austin touched Hunter, he lost his WrestleMania title shot. And if Triple H touched Austin, he would be suspended for 6 months. But Triple H proved to be even more devious because he only pretended to sign the contract. He beat the shit out of Austin before he signed it in his own blood.
Yep. Yeah, and that was a great moment because that's a moment I do remember because I love the fact that when H hits Austin with the briefcase or whatever the hell it was, when he, like, Vince gets all up in his face, like, you can't do that, you're suspended, and H is like, I didn't sign it, and Vince has, like, a smirk, like, on his face, like, because he's like,
respect.
Nice. Yeah. He's like, and I hate this guy.
Yeah.
And at this point, they hadn't fully embraced the fact that H was, I mean, we all knew, and they alluded to it, but like,
well, at this point, I don't think they started dating yet.
In 2001,
they might have. Okay, they were probably just.
No, they had to have because half the lead up to the match. I think you might just get into this. Maybe I'm jumping the gun here. Yeah. Was because they couldn't touch each other. Austin stunned Stephanie.
Well, at that point, they were still married in storyline, but they didn't marry until 3.
Okay, I wasn't sure. But they had to have started now. Or
yeah,
maybe they just didn't know.
They did start at some point around this because China was still with the company.
Yeah, 2001. Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah, because they started after they got together for the storyline. I know that.
That's right. You're right. Yeah.
And I know they got married in 03 because I remember the funny story that their wedding was like right after No Mercy of that year when it was a McMahon versus Stephanie in an I Quit match. And Linda said to Vince, if she shows up at her wedding with a black eye, I'm going to kill you.
That's right. I remember that story.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, but anyways, so yeah, the match, the first fall standard wrestling match. Basically, they're just going at it, brawling, all that stuff. And it was Stone Cold Steve Austin that pulled out the win in this one after 12 minutes.
And the brawl in that is So again, rewatching this for the first time today. First off, let's throw this out. This match is long.
Yeah, it's almost
It's
an hour.
it's like 50 some minutes. Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I went to Peacock because I'm cheap and I only bought the $5 version. There's ads, and the space for this match was huge on the search bar.
Yeah.
But the thing that really stuck out to me on a rewatch for the first time, and who knows how long,
Yeah.
was they start hot and heavy, and they're like beating the hell out of each other. Like
Yep.
again, I the first thing I had in the first 2 minutes was this is lost in modern pro wrestling.
Agreed.
This does not happen. Like this feeling of like Austin hits the ring, they're immediately on top of each other, not backing them into a corner, not like that's what they would do. I'm just imagining what they would do now. It literally they just slam, and then Austin gets them down and starts stomping the mud hole, and
Yeah.
it's just like a brawl for like 3 minutes nonstop of them trying to kick each other's ass.
You honestly believe they hate each other.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I couldn't tell you unless Brock hits the ring, there's nobody else that this happens with, and I don't think he does it at this point.
I think in AEW,
I was
it would be Moxley who would charge in the ring and do like Austin did, just charge in.
Right.
He's the only one I can think of.
But other than that, I was just like, this is just not a thing that you see anymore.
And that's why this era is just is held in such high regard because it was so good, and you don't see stuff like this anymore.
It's true.
Yeah,
it was so rugged and good, and it's really good too. Like like the lead up and the build up to the stunner that Austin gives them is really good, and the crowd is going bat shit in this.
I've actually got a review here from last year, like a modern review of it, and then like going into it, it says suddenly Austin gains a surge of energy. He pulls Triple H away from the ropes and rolls over. The figure four is reversed. Triple H almost immediately. Hunter he elbow drops Austin's badly weakened knee. Austin fires back with knee socks to Hunter's face. Here comes Austin's second win. Multiple punches, turnbuckle smashes, Luthez press, running elbow drop. He gets a 2 count. Austin goes for a stunner. Hunter blocks it. Austin counters with a clothesline. Another stunner attempt. Nope. Neck breaker. Stunner again. Nope. Triple H counters into a roll up. Then Austin counters into his own roll up. Kick out of 2. Austin lands some more punches. Hunter tries to go low and then goes for a dive. Austin counters with a kick. Stunner. 1, 2, 3. That is a sequence, man.
It's so good. Great spot in that opening scene. So Austin, known for the Luthez press, goes to do one early, and H just kind of grabs him and holds him backwards and hits him on the top rope on like his throat. And like stun guns him, and I'm like, that is such a good counter to that.
Yep, it is.
And I'm just like, God, that's just where do it's I don't know, it's just a wrestling thing, but for like, how does that not just happen more often? Like, this is such a smart thing to do.
It is. Well, who really does Luthez?
I don't know who does Luthez press anymore.
There's somebody out there that does. I just can't remember who.
No.
But also, it's a nice little nod to Austin's past because in the WCW, that was his finisher, was the stun gun.
It was. I love that. I loved that move, by the way.
Oh, yeah. It's such a fun
How
move.
has nobody picked it up again? Like, I think it's still a great move. Like,
yeah, I don't think he's a finisher now, but
I don't know. I love it. I've always loved that move for no reason whatsoever. But I just like the idea of like just picking somebody up and slamming them on the rope. I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but it's good. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, well, it's wrestling. Not a lot of it makes sense. And then second match is a street fight, and this one Austin, like from other ones I've seen, like there's usually a little bit of breather. No, Austin doesn't get 2 shits. He just starts going in and starts kicking the shit out of them again. Yeah, hits him with a monitor and even into the announce table. By this point, Triple H is bleeding like a stuck pig, and this guy bled a lot back then.
Yeah, and they're both. Austin bleeds too.
Yeah,
because barbed wire 2x4 comes out, and Austin's great because they're brawling by the announce tables, and when Austin gets up, he like stumbles over the table. And right in front of where Lawler's sitting, he just bleeds all over it. And I'm like, this looks so good, such a good image.
Yeah.
Like, Austin knows that this table's white. And so like and then later you could tell he thinks this, or somebody whispered it to him, because he goes back and continues like to like stumble over it. Yeah. And I'm like, because just to get the visual of the blood and going everywhere on the table. Like, it's pretty clever.
Yeah. But yeah, I know that like you said, you got the barbed wire 2x4, which actually Austin originally tried to hit Triple H with it, and then he grabs and smashes it into Austin's face and gets him. Yeah, pedigree through announce table. Nope. Austin counters in a back body drop through another announce table.
Triple H takes that spot better than anyone.
You know what? I know a lot of people give Triple H shit, but the dude takes a lot of spots like the best.
Yeah, I think nobody takes that spot better than him.
No, the bump, no, for sure.
It looks so good when he does it. Something about it. He just lands it perfectly.
Yeah, I don't. He's just so smooth in the ring. He really is.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite era of Triple H. Is this couple year or two, right?
Yeah, for sure. When he first onto the scene, like on the main event scene.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, and so Austin, throws him back in the ring, and then Hunter hits him in the head with a bell. Goes to the pin. Austin barely kicks out. Neck breakers onto a chair, which is like, Austin just got back from surgery. Like, did you really need to do that?
Yeah, there's a couple pretty bad chair shots.
Yeah, there's a sleeper hold in there, a suplex under the chair from Triple H. Then he hits him in the face. Austin hits him with steel steps in the face. And then the old drop toe hold into the steel step spot, which is, once I figured out how they did it, I'm like, that is so bad.
So bad. It's a bad spot.
It looks funny, but yeah, it's.
Ugh, I know.
Yeah. And then of course he goes for the sledgehammer, tries to hit Austin. Austin doesn't take it. More punches from Austin. Stunner attempt again, but this time Triple H hits him, fights out, hits him with a sledgehammer to the head. Pedigree 1, 2, 3. We are tied after 28 minutes.
Yep.
Oof. And then go into the third fall, a steel cage match. Yeah,
it's great.
Which is how you should end feuds, in my opinion.
Exactly. Instead of making it the first match.
Yep.
Yeah. I know.
You forgot to book.
I know.
And then you got, so Austin tries to come back in the cage match. Triple H throws him into the cage wall. He does it. He didn't like it, so he did it again, only really harder this time. He grabs a gun, again the 2x4, and rakes it across Austin's face.
Rewatching that was a brutal spot.
Anytime somebody does that, I cringe.
Oh, it's so bad. You just think about it. It's just like the first Jackass movie when they do the paper cuts.
After the first time I saw that, I skipped that scene.
So do I. I can't do it.
You neither.
I just it's like I could watch somebody hit over the head with a chair.
Yeah.
Don't do paper cuts in between the webbings of your fingers.
Nope, because I've had that happen and it hurts.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. But actually, surprisingly enough, not the worst cut like that I've ever had. The worst one was actually from a steel stud. That cut deep.
Yikes.
Yeah, I was putting it away and it slid in my hand and it did that. It was like, holy crap.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gross soda.
Yeah, well, we were talking blood, so kind of fit in.
I get it.
So Austin throws Triple H in the cage, but somehow he has enough strength to resist getting his head ripped apart by the barbed wire. Austin ducks the 2x4 again, and Austin ducks Triple H and then hits him again with a 2x4. He really does. That's another spot he takes great, the headshots. Because he gets his hands up as so, like, it's so close that you think he gets in the head.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, he's one of them, unlike Austin, who's just taking them straight to the melon.
Yeah.
Which are so bad.
Yeah, especially in hindsight now, yeah.
It's so bad in hindsight. Who would have thought that you would cringe now, 20 years later, when somebody gets whacked in the skull?
That one does, it's more cringy because I know the effects.
That's why.
Let's say this. I cringe watching it happen today. I don't cringe when I watch matches from the past.
Oof. Depends on the shot. Depends on the shot.
JBL from Stevie Richards. That's a cringy one.
That one's bad. I always think of, there's one in ECW that Big Dick Dudley hits. It's random. Hits the Sandman. It's the hardest fucking chair shot ever. I mean, it looks like it should kill you. And whenever I watch it, I'm just like, Jesus, man. Yeah. Like, this looks so bad. Like, who thought this was a good idea? But whatever.
It was back then. Yeah, no, 2 years ago when Cody took the headshot and people were like, what are you doing?
I know. Nowadays, you're like, don't do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
at least not an unprotected one. If you're gonna do it, do like Hunter did. Get your hands up.
Get your hands up. Yeah, if you're gonna pull the one out a year, yes, go for it. But nobody's gonna complain that your hand is between your forehead.
No.
Like I can't do it anymore. I can't watch you scramble your brains.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it's a little different with the older ones, past because it's been long enough that they're okay. But yeah, the newer ones are like okay, but
okay. Yeah, I like it.
But yeah, Austin tries to hit Triple H again with a 2x4. Once again, resisted. There's a DDT onto a steel chair. Let's see. Triple H starts climbing the cage. Austin cuts him off. They just start beating each other on the wall. Austin's the first to fall, gets crotched to the top rope. But then he gets back up and slams Hunter hard into from the corner. Another pin attempt. There's more brawling. Stunner, no. Pedigree. 2.5 count on that. Austin counters into a slingshot of the cage. Stone Cold Stunner. This time at a 2.9 count, Hunter kicks out. Austin grabs a 2x4 again. Triple H with a sledgehammer. They both hit each other at the same time. Hunter falls on top of Austin and gets the 3 count.
Yep.
That is an ending.
It's a great ending because the match warrants the ending.
Yeah.
A lot of it would feel cop out-ish if you didn't just watch them beat each other up for 50 minutes.
Yeah. The final time is 36-31.
Jesus, that feels so much longer than that.
Well, it probably was longer because they included the aftermath.
It was all the things.
Yeah,
but even still, 36 minutes. But the whole time is like, even by the end of it, like when I was watching midway through the cage part, I was like exhausted.
Oh, for sure.
And it's because I'm watching them, like they don't stop.
Nope.
It's kind of shocking, like how it's 36 straight minutes of action. And again, you know me, I'm not the most prone 36-minute match guy.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it just flies.
It does.
It's because they're brawling. It's not pretty. They're just beating each other up because the feud is ready for it. And yeah, that ending should piss people off, but it totally is fine.
Yeah, because it works. You believe it. And it was at this time where Triple H earned his nickname, the Cerebral Assassin.
Yep. Yeah, it totally works.
Yeah.
And what a clever way also, like in the scheme of things, to get from Austin from the Rumble to Mania.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like that's really clever.
Yeah,
because that's always the issue. The only issue to me with the Royal Rumble to Mania thing is when somebody wins the Rumble, what the hell do they do?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay, they did it, but now, okay, we have 2.5 months to Mania. Well, we already know they're in that match, so what do they do?
Think back of that time, because nowadays they just do whatever. But at that time, like in 2000, you had they actually turned a real life thing into an angle, The Rock and Big Show, because Rock won, right? So that's something kept in there. 2001 was this leading into the match with The Rock. What was 02? 02 was it was a rematch. Triple H and Kurt Angle. They had a rekindling of their feud.
Oh, that's right.
And
03 was Brock. I don't know.
I don't remember what did he do?
Did he go against
No Way Out 2002?
Brock was 03.
03. 03 was the big thing from that one, which actually have on.
Did he do World Greatest Tag Team 2-on-1 in there somewhere?
It would make sense that he did. No, he was nowadays WWE will say it's a handicap match because the tag partner.
Yeah. That's okay. That's right. Because I do know my favorite Benoit match is from Royal Rumble 03 with Benoit and Angle.
Yeah,
that is so good.
Oh, totally. I'm a big fan of any match between those two.
God, it's just the best. It's so good. I've rewatched it so many times.
Actually, that's another one because of everything that there's a match between those two that falls on the wayside from 2001. It's from Judgment Day, the best 2 out of 3 falls match for the gold medal.
Okay.
They ended in a ladder.
Oh yeah, the gold. That's right. That gold medal one. That's right.
Yeah.
So, question for you, Soda, as we wrap this. You mentioned this was the first 3 stages of Hell match.
Yeah.
What other ones were there?
There was, it would have been the following year is the next one I remember, and that was after, it was Armageddon. It was after
Okay.
Shawn Michaels had won the title. It was Triple H versus Shawn
Triple
Michaels.
H, Shawn. Okay, I thought that's what that one was, but I wasn't
Yeah,
sure.
and there haven't been that many. I know there was the one in NXT, Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano.
Oh, that's
I think the
right.
most recent one they did.
Duh. Yeah, I was just gonna say that wasn't that long ago.
Okay, let's see. So there have been 5 in history.
Okay.
In WWE history. So the first one we just covered, and then the second one, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. That one was street fight, steel cage, ladder match.
Yep.
That's insane. The third one, again involving Triple H, but this time against Randy Orton. That was a standard match, falls count anywhere, and then a stretcher match.
I don't remember that at all.
This one's a weird one. This is John Cena versus Ryback from 2013.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I knew Cena was in one.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember what it was.
The 3 matches are weird. Lumberjack, tables, and ambulance.
Oh god, that's so PG era WWE.
Yeah. 2013, yeah, and then of course the most recent one, 2019, Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, standard match, street fight, steel cage. That one is available for in full on WWE's YouTube page.
Yeah, that's a good one too. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, and this is one I'm glad they don't do often.
Well, because the hard part is you're pretty much telling people that you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
One person's gonna win the first, like 2 out of 3 falls. You don't have to give the person. You don't have to go to 3 falls. It's no big deal.
No.
But if you're gonna tell people that the third fall is going to be a cage or a ladder or tables, you can't rob them of that. Like
No,
it's hard to do that.
Yeah.
You know.
So, but like I said, so the first 2 there was a gap of 20 months between them. February 2001 and then December 2002. The next one wasn't until June 2009. After that, it was another 4 years before the Ryback one, and after that, another 6 years before the Gargano one. So, I mean, it's a match that I'm glad they don't do often because it's a special one.
That's an interesting one. God, that Ryback Cena one's interesting. I might have to watch that.
I don't remember that one, if I'm being honest. Actually, I don't even remember the Randy Orton Triple H one.
I also do not remember the Randy Orton Triple H one. Not surprising, but I do not.
Yeah, well, this would have been 09. So what was around 09?
That was
WrestleMania 25?
That was when Cena and Orton and H were running the show, man.
Yeah.
They were every pay-per-view.
Yeah, that was 25. So that would have been after their feud that with the weird WrestleMania match where they had to follow Undertaker and Michaels when they could. There was Triple H got disqualified. He loses the title.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, but this one's awesome though.
Yeah.
This is
for sure. This is the best one by far.
Yeah, this one's great.
Yeah. The Michaels one is pretty good too, but just something about this one.
Michaels and H is good, but this one is really good.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is the match. If I were to say what's the match between Triple H and Stone Cold? This is the one I recommend. Whereas with the Triple H Shawn Michaels, what match do you recommend? Well, there's 2 other ones I would put before the 2 out of 3 falls. Shawn Michaels return at SummerSlam, and they're incredibly insane hour-long Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, that Hell in a Cell's pretty rough.
Talk about just going, man.
Yeah. I still love the return match though. It's hard to beat.
Me too. That was the reason why I convinced my grandparents that year to let me rent my very first.
That's what you said. That's right.
Yeah, because I remember, oh shit, he's coming back. He's coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, I was never a big enough Shawn fan to really at the time get it. Like it didn't at the time affect me.
Well, I didn't really, like I said, I didn't really dive into my fandom until 2000. Like obviously I was a fan, but mostly because I had the toys. I played the video games. I obviously knew who Shawn Michaels was. I knew he was the champ. I knew he was a big deal. So when he came back, I was like, raw. So that's why I was very amped about it. And plus, again, Triple H fan here. And yeah, that's one of those pay-per-views that I can say from top to bottom, there's no bad match.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah. And actually, along with that, No Way Out 2001 is another one, but because of the year it's in, it kind of it falls through the cracks because that's the year we have WrestleMania X7. There's the invasion angle that year and all that stuff. But that's another card that is incredibly well. Like, I mean, just take a look at what it is.
Yeah, because the main event's Rock and Angle.
Oh, for sure. And not just that, there was a fatal 4-way match for the United States title, I think it was. Rhino versus Eddie versus Benoit versus someone else. Just give me one moment.
Sure.
Okay, so you had Big Show versus Raven in the hardcore match, and for the hardcore title. You know what? Those matches were fun.
Raven was fun for that little period, man. That
Even though he
hardcore
almost
Raven
got
was good.
the power in the Astrodome.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it's for the Intercontinental title. The United States title wasn't around back then. Jericho, Benoit, Eddie, and X-Pac.
Oh,
I was thinking another year with Rhino. And then you had, in a surprisingly good match, Stephanie versus Trish.
Oh, that's this one. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then you had Triple H versus Austin. You had Stevie Richards versus Jerry Lawler, which ended up being Lawler's final appearance for months, because right after that he quit.
That's right.
Dudley Boys versus the Brothers of Destruction and Edge and Christian in a triple threat tables match.
Yeah,
and
I almost watched that.
Yeah, and then Angle Rock for the title. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Throwing that 3-stage of hell match in the middle of the pay-per-view is a tough sell.
Right.
And to follow it with a tables match is weird.
Well, you had the Stevie Richards.
Lawler. Still.
Break.
Still.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. That's a pretty good show. I might have to watch some more of it whenever.
Yeah, you definitely have to. So what are your final takeaways from the Austin night?
Austin night is I'm now ready to see what's going to happen at WrestleMania in a week and a half.
Me too.
The rumors are that Austin's going to close night one.
It's confirmed. They've announced.
Is it fully confirmed?
They've been announcing since last week that it's been closing.
Did they? Okay, I wasn't sure if it was going to close.
Makes you wonder if something bigger is going to play into it. If it's
I watched Austin on the Rich Eisen show last week.
Okay,
it's just a sports talk show.
Okay,
and he mentioned twice that he's in the gym, he's in ring shape, and he's running the ropes again. He said it twice. Like very off. I don't think he was thinking about it.
Yeah, off the cuff.
Because he's just like, he's like, it's really hard. He's like, you haven't stepped in the ropes in, this many years, and you're getting in ring shape, you're running the ropes. Like he said it so nonchalant. And in my head, I'm like, he's admitting he's training.
Well, I'd heard that he had a ring shipped to him, so that makes sense.
Right. So as we discussed last week, will it be a sanctioned match? No. But will it be something?
Or
a
tag match the following night?
Never know.
You never know.
Never know. But I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. People were all mad about it. And KO this last week was I loved it. Beautiful.
Me too. And his Austin impression, the mannerisms,
were great. I loved it. WWE trolled the audience on Instagram. I don't know if you saw where they just clipped. They just said, look at the reactions. And it was just like a minute clip of everybody in the audience like cheering and cheering and cheering. And like they're jumping up and down. It's all these different people. And then it's all of them pissed off. I'm like, that's so good. It's so good.
I agree. That opening segment for Raw was beautiful.
It was super fun. The KO sold it, man. I mean,
he's one of those guys. They give him chicken shit. He'll turn it into the greatest chicken salad you'll ever eat.
And he's done a good job because I really thought, like in the beginning, I was like, whatever. I don't know.
Man, build right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Because why waste Austin on TV right now?
Exactly.
Why would you do that? Like I saw somebody the other day saying that. They're like, why isn't Austin on TV? I'm like, he's stone cold. He doesn't need to be on TV.
Right. You're hearing the pops he's getting. He doesn't need to be on TV.
No, not at all. So I'm excited for that. It makes me excited to see Stone Cold again.
I'm as we're getting closer to Mania, I'm getting more and more excited.
I have really started to feel it like this week. I'm feeling like I'm excited. I know we've said it last week, so I don't want to stay on here any longer. But overall, there's a lot I'm interested in.
There is a match that's rumored that I'm questionable of, and it's almost his match because the rumor is Bobby Lashley.
Oh, Bobby Lashley, whatever. Who cares?
So, well, no, it's like okay, so you can't have Lashley win to this guy, but lose to this guy. But then again, you can't have this guy lose as well because he's supposed to be the next big guy. So it's like, what the hell do you do?
What the hell do they do? Yeah, and now, honestly, you know what I thought? I was just like, when they announced Veer was finally coming on the 4th on the Monday after Raw, Veer's a big dude.
Yeah, he could be the next one.
I think he beats Omos to break his streak. I think that's how he debuts.
That would make sense.
I think it's a good. Not only have they been saying it since October, but I mean, if he's gonna come out, he can't just do something BS.
I love Simon Miller. He quote tweeted their tweets when Veer's coming on August 3 or 4. He's like, "What year?"
I know, so good, so good. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I said this before. I've watched a little bit of the videos that guy posts.
Oh,
I think he's gonna be a star.
Oh, Simon Miller for sure.
Oh no, yeah.
Oh, you mean Veer?
I think Veer too.
Oh, if we were talking Simon Miller.
No, I do like Simon Miller. By the way, no, I think Veer's awesome.
Yeah, like, and apparently he's wrestling a main event.
Yeah,
yeah,
he has been. That's what they've said. He's been doing some tryouts and dark stuff, so should be fun. But that's it. Do you have anything, Soda?
Yeah, other than I'm probably not going to watch the Condemned now. And like I said, this Triple H Austin match is one of my favorites. It's been since I first saw it. 23 years? We're old. 21 years ago.
Yeah.
Hoi.
Gotta love that match. It sticks in your headspace. Man.
Yeah. Like I said, there's just so much from this era, and just how much they threw themselves into it, especially Triple H.
They did.
Yeah, because if you think about it, Triple H did most of the work in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Austin he gave his own, but a lot of it was just his greatest hits.
Triple H. Austin.
Yeah, of course.
It's Austin.
Yeah.
It's all people gave a shit about.
Yeah. And they
want the greatest. They want the greatest hits. They love it.
Yeah. Who was it? Somebody I saw said when Austin appears at WrestleMania, they wanted to tie KO behind his freaking SUV and drag him. I was like, why? It's very technical to do.
You're not getting 1999 Stone Cold here, I don't think.
And that's I want to say, go watch Backlash 1999 Rock Austin. That is an underrated match that nobody talks about.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's better than their WrestleMania match that year.
Okay. Yeah. I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah. All right, so where can we find you, my man?
Oh, you can find me at Dustyn Dubuque on Twitter, and I'm not doing anything else because that's what I do. I talk wrestling, and I have no time for anything else because I'm a father too.
In the comments.
Yeah, I chose family and 2 children. I don't know what's wrong with me, but yeah. What about you, Soda?
Well, I know what's wrong with me, and I'm not going to say that on air. But you can find me over my personal Instagram and Twitter at Soda_Saxman. You can find me all over the Northern Entertainment Group. Saturdays, you can find me over the Dropkicks on Let's Get Ready, talking with Dagan about all the non-WWE stuff. We review Dynamite, Rampage, and all the news. And then after the show, you can find me continuing building my Lego Seinfeld set. So
I like it.
Yeah. So on behalf of myself, Dustyn, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like the video. Leave any comments. Tell us what you think about the Condemned and this match, this epic, brutal match. And we will see you next week on the Squared Slice. So don't forget, we will see you then as we... Oh, shit. I screwed it up.
You know what? I'll give you credit for like 3-4 weeks. You did a really good job.
Yeah. Next week, we'll step between the ropes and we'll see you there in the Squared Slice. See you later.